Hey, can I get an arrest warrant check?
What is it?
Arrest warrant check.
That'll be over there at the record.
The records? Okay, the records do arrest warrant checks. I thought they sit over here, but all right, I'll take another look. Okay, so Records Division does arrest warrant checks. Can I get an arrest warrant check?
An arrest warrant? I can only look up a warrant within the city limits.
Okay.
Fine?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I don't have anything.
Nothing? Okay. Is there any way I can check at home?
Can they check to see if they have a warrant at home, or do they have to call the warrant officer? I think it's going to have to be the warrant officer. You're going to have to call the warrant officer.
Okay, well, what's the name and number?
What's the road number? Huh? What's the, what number? 37 what? 37. Okay. I'm going to write it down.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And name? Oh, Lee.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks. William. Is Lieutenant Williams busy? Oh. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm looking for Lieutenant Williams.
Okay, you looking for warrants?
Well, I did that.
No, you don't have no warrants on you.
Okay, yeah.
I'm a warrant.
Yeah, I know, Corporal.
Okay.
You're a corporal.
Right.
So I'll be calling you, I guess, about warrants.
Yeah, if you get one, it'll be about a month out.
Well, I mean, you guys might still have a surprise for me.
No, well, I'll take my record when I have a surprise for you.
Right now, today,
Right.
but tomorrow could be different.
Well, it could be,
Yeah.
but I doubt it.
It's happened before.
Well,
That's why I'm a little skittish from past experience. But
if you got one on you, I know about to find it.
You know. Okay,
Yes.
Lieutenant Williams, the internal affairs.
Let me see you there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, good.
You back to see me?
Yes.
All right then.
I was told to deposition body cam, Is the prosecutor getting the body cams? Has the prosecutor gotten body cam footage of my arrest?
That I can't answer. I mean, I can give you their phone numbers where you could call them and see.
Yeah, okay.
That part I'm not aware of because
Oh, you're not aware of it?
I'm not aware if they've gotten it or not.
Okay, alright.
Come on, we'll talk about it.
Alright. Yeah, because I would deposition the prosecutor. It's a part of the discovery request. And I guess discovery could be like deposition in a way. So, alright, I'll just ask them. Or I mean, did you guys... Well, I don't want to...
I don't have a problem explaining. Have a seat.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to...
Explaining the process of arrest. So, you were arrested.
Yep.
Paperwork done. Everything is turned in. It goes over to our record division. Once our record division receives it, there is a list of things, a list of items that goes to the district attorney's office with the arrest. That I'm sorry for you.
Attorney's office. Yes. Yeah, the 9/11 calls, maybe the radio. See, this is, in my experience in Williston, North Dakota, they immediately sent me body camera, 9/11 calls, and the radio traffic. All emailed, pretty much. It was all online. I know everybody does it different, but some do CDs. Are you guys online or offline for your body cam footage? Does that?
It's internally housed.
Okay, it's internally housed. How do you distribute it? Can you say CD or through the internet?
CDs.
Okay.
There's a fee with our stuff.
And I have a thumb drive I could give, and I've done that. But okay.
Not here.
Not with you. Not you with you. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But back to what I was telling you, as far as the paperwork and stuff that the district attorney's office gets, it's pretty much like a checklist. They get everything that we have.
Yeah. Checklist. Okay. So whatever you guys get, they have to get pretty much. It has to be properly. It has to be assumed pretty much. You don't assume that they don't have it.
Correct.
Okay. All right. My first complaint was mentioned about the seatbelts, and I mean, do you respond to complaints? Or I just give them to you, and you just take them in, and.
Oh, so you're ready to do?
I'm just going to read it.
Okay. What? No. Hold on. Because it's a way.
I got some complaints.
Are you? Because this is the thing. This is what I have to ask you. Are you filing a formal complaint against the officers that arrested you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Hold tight. Some stuff I gotta get. Here. This is what you gotta come in.
Alright.
But I'm gonna, you have to, cell phone, cameras.
Should I leave it all here?
Yeah, I just, you see why I drug this here? So you don't have to leave it that far away from you. You can just put it right here.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of why I closed the door. So that, you know, most people realize,
You don't-
somebody in there.
Yeah, oh, it's like a sock on the door.
Yeah.
With a bag on the seat.
Put your items right here.
Okay, so yeah, this, you'll see that there's no recording on this. Oh, well, okay. Should I just leave my fanny pack?
Yes. Put it there in the chair.
Alright. And then there is a camera, but it is blocked. Well, I'll only be reading this, and I can kind of let it face you. I intended to just have you read it, really, but I mean, I can read it out loud.
Okay. Well, push that door close.
Oh. Alright.
Yeah. So, let me get this going.
Oh,
Spell your first name.
Travis, T-R...
Wait, Travis, you're going too fast on me. Oh, I gotta stop this from ringing. T-R-A.
V-I-S.
Okay. What's your last name?
Heinz. H-E-I-N-Z-E.
Ah.
And it's one page.
Yes. I'm going to cut my recorder on.
Oh.
I mean, it's just audio. Okay?
Audio, yeah.
I'm going to read it to you. I'm
Oh.
gonna read this to you and tell you what this is. Today's date is January 27th, 2022. The time now is 11:39 hours. My name is Lieutenant Jessica Williams, Natchitoches Police Department Internal Affairs Division, and I'm here along with, please state your full name for me.
Travis Heinz.
Mr. Hines, what is your date of birth?
Oh, what's that? Yeah, what do you need the date of birth for? What is that?
That proves that I'm talking to Travis. I'm not talking to somebody pretending to be Travis.
What's your date of birth?
10/28/75.
Okay, wow, we're a couple months apart. All right, 12/24/75.
My next question. Do you read, write, and speak the English language?
Yes.
Okay. So, with that being said, Mr. Do you have a phone number where you can be reached?
Sure, yeah. All right, 715-257-0034.
Okay. So, with that being said, Mr. Hines, I understand that you're here to file a complaint against officers that you feel did you wrong. So, with that being said, I'm going to read you the Louisiana criminal law. It's RS 14133.5, filing a false complaint against a law enforcement officer. Filing a false complaint against a law enforcement officer is knowingly filing by affidavit under oath a false statement or false representation with a law enforcement agency regarding the conduct, job performance, or behavior of a law enforcement officer for the purpose of initiating any administrative action against that law enforcement officer. For the purpose of this section, law enforcement officers shall include commissioned police officers, state troopers, sheriffs, deputy sheriffs, marshals, and so forth, correctional officers, constables. Whoever commits the crime of filing a false statement against a law enforcement officer shall be fined not more than $500 or imprisoned not more than 6 months, or both. Mr. Himes, do you understand what I've just read to you?
Yes.
Need you to sign right there and date it for me. Today is the 27th.
Okay,
Right.
Todd. Yeah. Do I get a copy of this?
I definitely will give it to you. Okay, so in your words, you advise that you want to. This thing is okay. You want to file a complaint against
Officers Davis, Miller, and Favors. They're in different capacities.
Okay.
And all right. This is actually kind of a short breakdown. One through I had two others actually. Because of this refuse the Miranda thing, which I need the body cam for. So I mentioned, okay, and this is on record now. They failed to put a seatbelt on me for the ride from the library to the police station. Like I had no seatbelt. I was in handcuffs in the back of the car, no seatbelt. And then I sat in the jail, your holding cell, and then from there they drove me from here to the jail, and they were pulling out without a seatbelt on me. And I was like, "Do you want to put a seatbelt on me?" And he's like, "Do you want me to put a seatbelt on you?" Something like that. And I was like, "Yep, for safety." And that was Officer Davis. He's the driver. And this is...
Go ahead, I'm listening.
This is strange to me. Officer Miller, when they got my ID out of my fanny pack, he looked right on my driver's license and said, "Hello, Mr. Claiborne." I'm like, I don't understand. It made my heart jump. I was like, that's strange. Why am I being associated with, I don't even know if that's a slang, this Claiborne person or what, but... That took me by surprise. So, and then
who was this?
That was Officer Miller, and that should be on. I mean, once again, I need body cams for verbatim, going off of memory, but that surprised me. So, and then he said my name properly, but it's like. Just this misidentification thing, just that initial, just because it's all stressful at that moment, and for that to be mentioned in that way, while in handcuffs. Okay, I thought this was strange. Now I have to see your police policies. Do you know the website for your police policies, by chance, or is it public, or do I?
For our police policies, you have to submit a letter. It has to be approved by the chief and your reasoning for wanting the policies, and then there's a fee.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, I would like the chief's information. Is there email maybe I could?
Mm-hmm. I'll give it to you.
Oh, great. Yeah. All right. Officer Favor, she's a female, I believe. I think this is just like a part of jail protocol. She went into the cell by herself here in this police station to do like some kind of paperwork, and I'm like, where's Officer Davis? Because it's like, I've been in jail before, and women don't usually come into the jail by themselves, so I thought that was just kind of odd. And I said, where's Officer Davis? She's like, oh, I'll get him. And then she closed the door, and that was it. But I don't know your protocol. I'd have to read your police policies. I just thought that was an odd situation for her to come into the cell by herself. Let's see, my Fourth Amendment rights were violated, and that's the main complaint upon the arrest. I have constitutional. I acted within my constitutional protections, and for the police to have the police were more enforcing culture than law by stepping over my constitutional protections. So my complaint is that they violated my Fourth Amendment rights with more of a cultural enforcement than a legal enforcement. So that's my complaint on the arrest. I had a lot of belongings that were seized from me at that library, and let's see. I never seen an inventory of my stuff, an itemized inventory. They were happy to paw through my stuff, but never actually to have like a piece of paper or something to write down each individual thing that they were pawing through. And they do that at the jail, but the jail didn't accept my stuff, maybe to avoid having to inventory 2 duffel bags. I had 2 duffel bags, and they were brought here. But there was no inventory. I just had to sign this little slip of paper that said I got my stuff back. But there was no written inventory, and a lot of police officers will go through a procedure of inventorying in some way. Possibly they did it through body cam. I'm not sure. I'd have to see your body cam. But there's definitely no written inventory list of my stuff, and that can lead to some problems of items maybe missing. So that was a concern to me. I didn't really notice anything missing or broken. So I mean, I had a lot of stuff, but I'm not saying that I had anything stolen. I don't believe. So I'll just go with that. All right, and then this is strange. Officer Davis read me Miranda rights. Okay, and I hope this is on camera once again. And I said I understand them. So he asked me a couple questions. Then he lost his patience with me and left me in the cell, later coming back and said I didn't agree to my Miranda rights. And even here, now you gave me this paper, it says refused. So, and once somebody pointed out to me, because I showed this to some people, he refused his signature, as identification. And I'm saying it's Davis, because he was the one that I saw holding the paperwork and all that stuff. So he was actively involved in doing this paperwork. So that's something that I think is mentionable both here as a complaint and in court as just what's that word they use? It's hype. No, I have to think of it later. You say one thing and then do another type of thing. It's
So did he read you your rights?
Yes, and I do you understand? Yeah, and then we get this bottom stuff. He comes in later and says I didn't agree to him or something like that, and he writes refused. So it's really.
So you didn't refuse to sign?
I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I was willing to answer questions. And I did. I answered a couple. Were you walking around the library? Yes, but he I'm not going to get. I can't get into exact words because I need to hear the body cam. But I have a general impression of what happened, and it's also a little bit evidenced here on paper too. Yeah, I was locked to a bench in a small jail cell at this police station. I think roughly 2 hours. I had no visual of a clock, and I needed water and a bathroom. And I hope that once again this is on body cam. It should be every interaction. But he was making me practically beg to use the bathroom. It's like, I was like, yeah, I feel like I got to poop, and I don't want to push to try to to test in the cell. And he's like, do you or don't you? Well, I think I do. And we went back and forth, and I didn't say clearly enough the first time, do you or don't you? So he didn't take me to the bathroom. And
who was this?
It was Officer Davis. So it was down to that. And I mean, he serves. I told him he's a jailer, and he's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, well, you at least serve as a jailer, yeah, while I'm in the cell. You have a capacity there, during that phase of the process. So let's see. Officer Davis refused to tell me what he was charging me with as he drove me to jail. They wouldn't say. They clammed up. Wow, I was surprised how quiet they got it from here to the jail. And I had to ask the jail guard. I was like, Davis had this paperwork, and he handed it to the guard. And as soon as the guard got out, I'm like, what's the charge? And the guard told me, resisting arrest. I don't understand why Davis couldn't say it. Like he was implicating himself. I don't understand. All right. Officer Davis. Oh, and this is kind of my opinion. I believe he purposely killed my phone battery. I believe I had 90%, and I only recorded 27 minutes. I think he stopped it and somehow let it die. It was completely at zero. From I believe it was about 90%. So that was left on. And then my GoPro 7. He turned that off and had 67% battery life. I don't know, but that was kind of insulting to have him let my cell phone battery die like that. It was still recording in his possession, I believe. Officer Miller walked. Oh, I have this on camera too, my camera, because I was up on the second floor of the library recording. I saw cops pulling into the parking lot. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Something's going down. And I recorded them, and you could see Officer Miller just kind of taking his time, going in the library. What's that word again? It's well, he didn't seem to show a sense of urgency. And then over this ID thing, wow, there was a big sense of urgency at that point. But entering the library, I didn't get to feel like there was anything like really really bad, like there was a serious report of anything. But then it got serious in our conversation, whether it was consensual or not, I don't know. All right, so that's the 10. All right, and when you gave me this paperwork, I find it interesting. Did a lawyer see this paperwork before you gave it to me? Did the prosecutor, lawyer, or whatever?
The DA's office?
Yeah, before you gave it to me, because I had to do my own redactions. All right, not highlighted too, but for the complainant, because I put this on YouTube. And I had to do my own redactions, and usually they want to do those.
Well, and with that, when we, one of the captains, because on, what's today? Thursday. So, on Tuesday, I was a meeting with some new hires. I think you were here, or you came here, or something. And so, Lieutenant Mezier, I think that's who you talked to on Tuesday, said, hey, I know you're busy right now. There's a gentleman, and he said your name. He said Travis. I don't know why I thought he said Hines, but he said he needs to speak with you. I said, well, I think I'm going to be caught up for the remainder of the day. Just tell him to come. Ask him, can he come in the morning?
Okay.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I was like, he said, okay, cool. Well, when I came in on Wednesday morning, my days all messed up. When I came in on Wednesday morning, I met with Captain Johnson, because I think on Tuesday the records division had shut down because those ladies had a class. Mm-hmm. So she was like, he wants a copy of the report. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, if Lieutenant Mezier told me that he's going to come, he wants to talk to me, no problem. I'll give him the report. Okay. She says, okay, she talked to the district attorney, and he said, because you're right, the ladies in records usually do redact certain things.
Who's the district attorney?
Oh, shit.
Do you have a name? Male, female?
It's a man. Man? Billy Joe.
It is him, okay.
Billy Joe Harrington.
All right.
And he said, I said, oh, okay, so we're going to give it like this, no redactions. He said, don't redact anything, just give it to him. Huh. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So I just had it on my desk.
Fair enough. Whatever. I could do my own redactions. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So, now, let's talk.
Oh.
Do you know somebody named Claiborne? I'm just going to address some of these.
Within the first hour I got into the city, I sat in my car for about half that hour too. Mm-hmm. So I don't know the city. I don't know anybody that I talked to an inmate in jail, and I was like, this cop said, Claiborne, is that a slang or something? He's like, yeah, kind of. He's like, kind of making it seem like it may be a slang, a reference slang of some kind.
I've never.
But I don't know any.
I've never heard it. I'm not gonna say yes or no. I can say you right. I've never heard it. I haven't. That's why I asked. Did you know somebody named Claiborne? What's your middle name?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's not that.
Or something. No. Because I know on my driver's license, and I just recently got mine redone. My middle name, it looks like my middle name and my first name is one. Mm-hmm. If you're not paying attention to it. Okay. And I think it's just a typo on them. L ain't put enough space in between it or whatever. But I will find out about that. Okay. I'm not sure about the seatbelt part, or why they didn't put you in a seatbelt, or why you weren't put in a seatbelt, but I will find out about that. And the Claiborne. And Favors, the female officer, going in the cell alone. So, as a female officer, mm-hmm. I've been doing this for 20 years. I can tell you, in law enforcement, if you choose this job because you want to do it. Okay. Not because you're looking for backup. So you have to be strong within yourself, because I believe communication. Let's talk about this. Are you afraid of me?
No.
I'm not afraid of you.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
All right.
We're having a decent conversation with each other. And I took this job because I felt strong within myself that I could do it. I don't necessarily need somebody to back me up. So there is no, basically I'm saying there's no policy that any female officer has to have somebody
All right,
with it. You took the job, then do it. Do
Okay.
your job.
All right, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. So you said that your Fourth Amendment rights were trampled due to, and I know what you said, but I'm miswriting it down. Tell me what you mean by that.
I have Fourth Amendment protections. Okay, and that has to be recognized as a let's say it's a boundary for let's see. So I was mentioning the culture versus the
that's
legal
what you were
stuff.
saying.
I was saying it's cultural enforcement to step over my Fourth Amendment protections, because I live within my Fourth Amendment protections, and to step over that. And it's, I mean, this I don't want to get too much into legal. I'm trying to keep it as general as possible, because I don't want to make a legal case too much here. I mean,
I get it. I get it.
I'm trying to just define it.
I want to know, what part of your Fourth Amendment rights did you feel were violated?
Well, I'd say seizure occurred when he grabbed me, or it sounded like, you see, there's the consensual conversation, and then there's the investigatory parts. There's welfare check aspect of law enforcement, and then there's the arrest or investigation. Welfare check versus investigation, and when it stops being a welfare check, it stops being a consensual conversation, and it goes into legal issues, legal controversy, and as soon as they started asking for my ID, it pretty much stopped being consensual at that point, and then my civil rights kick in at that point, and I asserted them. I mean, it's at my loss. I enforce my civil rights. I enforce my constitutional rights, not just assert them. I don't just ask if I can have constitutional rights. I assert them, and that's one of them. I'm supposed to be protected in my person and papers and all of that, and it's a federal law that every state has to recognize. So you have your policies, which once again I have to read your police policies on that. You have your procedures, and in the report I see they request something like that. They didn't demand, and they arrested me over that over just requesting my ID. And you can request my ID, and I can refuse.
Where?
What?
Where can you refuse?
Refuse my ID?
Yes.
This isn't a drive. I'm not driving. This isn't a traffic infraction. You don't need your ID when you're walking around.
Yes, you do.
Let
me show you.
You need to carry an ID when you're walking around?
Let me show you something. And I get it. I know that you're not from here.
What if I lose it? I mean,
then that...
You could tell your name. You don't have to give an ID. There's other ways to identify yourself.
Okay, so... And I get that. I get what you're saying. Well, okay, so let me ask you this then, Travis. And this, you and I, having a conversation. When they asked you your name, why didn't you just...
Because I wanted to assess the situation. I'm like, what's the problem? What's the crime? All right, let's...
Oh, so you had no clue why the police were called?
No. Well, they were like telling me they repeated themselves, but Harris seems to have this thing where he doesn't repeat himself. He's like, I told you. Any little...
Which one was this?
Harris. He has this thing where he's like, he does...
Oh, who the hell is Harris?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Davis.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem. I try to get his name right. They're at least distinct. Davis is distinct from Miller and Favors.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean Davis has this thing about not repeating himself. And I find that insulting, but I mean, that's maybe it's the culture here. I kind of jumped into the culture, and now I'm taking it all in. I think I learned from an inmate that how you pronounce this city is Natchitoches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. See, I was pronouncing it all wrong. And Natchitoches.
What were you saying?
Natchitoches. He told me Natchitoches. That's how they say
No,
it.
it's No, you tell me what you were saying.
Yep. Well,
How were you pronouncing it?
He was saying, Natchitoches. I was saying that for a while.
Okay, no. Okay,
So-
it's Natchitoches.
So the culture has been a bit of a shock for me.
And I get that. Let me say this. I know that I can tell by your accent that you're not from here. Where are you originally from?
Well, I've been traveling the past 8 years. I've been on all up and down the west half of the country. I was born in northern Wisconsin,
Okay.
but I've been traveling the past 8 years.
Okay.
And I've been harassed by a lot of cops in that time.
I can hear it. That you're not from this way.
Yeah.
So,
But I
go ahead.
did spend 9 months at Barksdale Air Force Base in the Air Force. I was like a little security guy there for a
Oh.
while. So I'm familiar with Louisiana.
Okay.
But it's been a while. That was way back in '96. So
Ooh, oh, yeah.
yeah, it was just a short stint.
25 years ago.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you was going to tell me you was in the military.
No.
Say, go ahead.
Just a homeless bum traveling, learning the country. There's a lot of history here, but I'm not interested in it right now. So I want to get this taken care of. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So, the charge that they arrested you for,
Okay.
I'm going to read it to you. I know you
Yeah,
said it's
it's
RS 14108,
Yeah.
subsection, is it B?
Okay, that's another paper, I think. It's a court date.
Should we say something like, no.
B1C.
B1C.
So I didn't see.
So, it says here, refusal by the arrest or detained party to give his name and make his identity known to the arresting or detaining officer, or providing false information regarding the identity of such party to the officer.
Mm-hmm.
So in the state of Louisiana, RS 14108, Section B, subsection C, it's illegal when an officer asks you your name.
And
Or your identification.
I have no. That doesn't say anything about ID. It doesn't say you have to hand over an ID. But I'm willing.
And you're right. It doesn't say about an ID, but I will say this. In the state of Louisiana, me and you in the car together. We in the car, and we going to the movies. You're going to take me to the movies.
All right.
And we get stopped by the police. The police has the right to identify everybody in the car.
That's not a problem. I'm willing to exchange information, but I want to learn who they are too. I want to learn the problem. I want to learn who they are, and they were focused on this ID thing. They weren't like, let me pull out my pad and paper and I'll write your name down. It was, give me your ID, and that's it. And it doesn't. I mean, I haven't even read that before I got arrested, but I know on a federal level that you don't have. I'm willing to give my ID if it's a driving infraction. I'm instant. Here you go. I want to prove that I'm good to drive. Mm-hmm. But there's other ways to tell your information on foot or whatever. So I was willing, and so you're not going to be able to prove intent that I wasn't willing to identify myself.
So at any point did anybody ask you what's your name? Or
No,
did they just say,
I don't know.
What's your ID?
I have to watch the video again. I can't say for sure, but it's my impression is that a focus on ID, and I've gotten many situations with that, and I'm like, and sometimes this went really fast. It went from 0 to 100 quick. Mm-hmm. This situation. But sometimes some cops have even exchanged IDs with me. I'm like, I'm willing to exchange IDs with you if you want. I mean, I have Fourth Amendment protections that allow me to not give that information, but I'm willing to exchange information with you. I have a ground to stand on here with my boundary of protection. So I'm working within that.
And let me say this, and I agree to a certain extent, Travis, because let me show you something. You walking down the street in your own little world, you walking back to the library from here. You ain't did nothing. Nobody can't just roll up on you and say, hey, what y'all did? But I want you to see it from another point of view. The police were called to the library. The police were called to the library by someone from the library. They're not just showing up, just, oh, let me go see who in the library. They were called to the library for a person acting suspicious.
Yep.
Right?
And is suspicion a felony or?
No, suspicion isn't a felony. I mean, I have a bad habit. I'll show you what I do. I'll cross my legs and I just shake my foot. Shake my foot. Doesn't mean nothing. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I've done it all my life. I don't know why. It's not like it's a nervous twitch or something. And you can look at me and say, she acting suspicious. Something on her mind because her legs is shaking. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
There's criminal suspicion, and then there's like general, random or general suspicion. There's different types of suspicions.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Prior to them coming to the library, what were you doing?
Well, now we're getting into court-ish, legal.
Okay.
Yeah.
But don't answer it.
Yeah.
Think about
it. It's on their.
Think about it.
Yeah.
But because that's what they were told.
Yeah.
That this is what this person is doing.
Mm-hmm. And that
seems a little out of place.
That's where I'm going to argue that they didn't seem like there was a sense of urgency. Because I also have further video of Favors and Davis also pulling in too, not just Miller. They didn't seem to show a lot of urgency, like there's real serious. But this is, I don't mean to push you on. I'm making my complaints, and
I get it.
You respond. So
I get it. Your inventory list of your items. So we'll move on to that. The inventory list of your items. It was done on body camera.
Okay.
Now, I know, and I kind of think it's just kind of like what that particular shift requires. They could have given you a written list. You're right. But it's almost just kind of like, if it's on camera, it's golden.
And it'd be really better if I was there too, watching them and saying that on camera instead of me sitting in the cell. That's what happened to me in Williston, North Dakota, on body camera and going through it.
Okay. And then I go to Davis with the Miranda warning. So you're saying that you did not refuse to sign it?
No, I did not refuse.
Okay.
I was willing to answer questions. But
okay, so you were willing, because I saw that part on there. Yet you said you understood your rights. Mm-hmm. When he read that second question to you, and he said, "Are you willing to talk to us now?"
Are you, second, could you? Do you understand each of these rights I've explained? Yes. Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now?
Yeah.
And it's blank.
What'd you say?
Yes, I'm willing to answer questions. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And at any point, did anybody issue that paper to you and say, "Sign right here"?
No, I did. No, he held on to the paper. I did. I don't. As far as I remember, I don't recall signing anything. It was all just all in his hands. Him holding it. I don't even recall him showing me it. Just reading it. That was it. As far as I remember, it should all be on body camera. Why do I have to? I don't want to struggle to remember if this should be on body camera.
Well, no. But the thing is this is your complaint.
Yeah.
And you took the time and you made a list. You see what I'm saying?
I'm going to have to do like an addendum to my complaints. I'm going to have to be vague, I guess, because there is body
Well, no, because when I see that he wrote refuse, the first thing I'm assuming is that
I refused.
You started and then you refused.
Yeah. So I hope it's recorded, and I'll have the deposition of him.
Okay. Oh, then the bathroom part. Where did I put here? Needed to go. So you needed to go to the restroom.
Yeah, I didn't want to beg to go. I was just, it's kind of an embarrassing situation. Like, I feel like I have to go, so maybe I just go over and then, give a push, give my best effort, see what comes out. And he's like, do you have to go or no? So it was a yes or no, like, we're in the military. And I was in the military. That's the thing. I'm not in the military, so I don't feel like I have to be answering like somebody's my superior. We're all people on the same level as far as I'm concerned. And this begging to have to use a bathroom. He's not a jailer, though, so I mean, you could chalk it up to that. He's not a jailer. But maybe he could use some jailing training. I don't know.
So he said, "Do you have to go or don't you?"
And I'm like, yes. I feel like it's
And when
there.
you said yes, what did he do?
Well, okay, this should be on body cam. It was a back and forth. I was just saying, yeah, I was kind of arguing with him a little bit about how I felt he was cruel and unusual in the situation. I've never been shackled to a bench and then also locked in this small room too at the same time. It's like I usually it's just locked in a room and that's it. So I was kind of telling him that he's cruel and unusual. With this type of treatment as well, and then he was, are you sure, yes or no? And I'm like, well, I feel like I have to go. That's the best I could say about what
What you was going through at that time.
Yeah,
I got you. And the last thing I got is your charges were not explained to you.
What?
By the officers.
Oh, just between the drive between here and the jail, they were like. They clammed up. And in fact, on my camera, because it was on at the time, they were doing some rifling through my stuff. They should have rifled through my stuff when I was watching. But I had it recorded audio, a little audio, and he's like, somebody said, and I have to hear this. I'm not sure. Somebody said, oh, he's on YouTube. Oh, shit. So I don't know how that worked out, but somebody said that in comments on my YouTube, and I actually have to hear that. But I was like, oh, thanks. I'll have to go back to that and listen to that. But they clammed up on the drive. It was a lot different feel. He's like, he even told, I believe he told Favors, don't say anything to him, don't answer questions. It was a quiet ride for me, but that gave me the opportunity to tell him that I'm going to be fighting this and all that, which. Maybe it should be on his body camera.
So when they walked you out of that I was gonna say elevator library, they didn't tell you what you were charged with?
Well, it was something about it's against the law to not identify it's against the law not to give my ID to them or something like that. It's on video. I have to get the exact. I come a little unprepared for that. We had conversation. We definitely had a lot of back and forth. But then from the drive here, I'm only talking about the drive from here to the jail. I'm just saying that's. Oh, but okay.
Because you said when you got to the DC.
I just wanted to confirm. Okay, yeah, they were kind of saying there was some kind of resisting arrest, and then some pictures on my computer or something like that, and I wanted to confirm because I sat in the jail cell for like two hours, and I'm like, okay, what did you come up with? And they wouldn't say a thing. But yeah, they were willing to tell me something about failure to ID is a resisting arrest somehow. You're resisting arrest without a crime and over an ID, entirely over an ID. They were able to. Yeah, I understood that part. I was asking for confirmation because it seemed like, after 2 hours and sitting in this cell, it seemed like maybe they would have worked through because they were on the phone with somebody. I don't know. Trying to figure out whatever, doing their investigation. So I wanted to know what's the deal. What do you want? What are you taking me to jail for? So that's.
Okay.
I'm kind of rambling on. I don't know.
No, I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
I'm understanding and and I'm listening to you. Okay. You wrote some other stuff. What else did you? This was the basics of it?
Yeah, it was 10 complaints, and then I added 2 more from the paperwork because somebody mentioned the refused Miranda thing, and that is. I mean, I did mention that.
Yeah, you brought that one up. I got that one.
It's a concern. Yeah, say I didn't agree to my Miranda rights. I couldn't record that on my camera. It's unfortunate. So I need your body cams to get to the bottom of it.
Okay. So with that being said, I will check into your complaint.
So that's it.
And we will move forward. That is pretty much.
All right. Yeah, I don't mean to hold up your time any longer. So thank you.
All right. You are so welcome, sir.
And I have to deposition you for your recording.
Correct.
Just set myself. Oh, it is. Oh, it's put a.
No.
How does that work? You got to push forward. All right.
All right. Have a good day.
Yep, too.